welcome to another edition of We Stream. Today we're going to be checking out Mario vs. Sonic by Video Game Rap Battles. Before we do, if you are new to the channel, I am a musician. I make my own content. You should check it out.
Take another dose, keep the bottle close. You're to blame, you're at fault. The medicine is not, in case you forgot. You are nothing special, just another broken pot.
And that's the plug. So, this is one I got requested quite a few times. Before we get into it, I think it's important to note that by default, Mario is way ahead in this battle. Like, you could be a Sonic fanboy all you want, but I mean, let's be honest. Mario's already won this battle, so this is his battle to lose, because Mario shows up and throws a couple bars and he should win because he has a huge advantage walking in here. So let's see how it goes, and yeah, let's get it.
Video Game Rap Battle! Player 1, Super Mario!
This beat is dope.
Player 2, Sonic the Hedgehog! Fight!
Let's go back to the dark age where life shone for Stark and an arcade and bark in the
Alright, so back to the dark age, so back to the old days of video games when he was the first light to come up and shape the whole video game world.
Fight!
Let's go back to the dark age where life shone for Stark and an arcade and bark in the shape the video game industry. And there's one mascot that think it's me. Let's watch you
It's me! So, yeah, I mean, Mario saved video games in the 80s with the Nintendo Entertainment System. It's true, video games were about to go away, possibly forever. But Mario saved it, so it's all good. You're welcome, says Mario.
in the shape the video game industry. And there's one mascot that think it's me. Let's watch you clock out at Mach speed running away from my hedgehog stop spree. Note this.
Alright, watch you clock out at Mach speed. He's talking about some of the Sonic gameplay mechanics, and then he's saying he's going on a hedgehog stomping spree, because Sonic's like one of the little kind of characters that looks like someone that Mario would just jump all over.
It's me. Let's watch you clock out at Mach speed running away from my hedgehog stop spree. Note this how I flip the wind bro spits. Bring a hell for greater than the one of 06.
Alright, so he did a flex followed by a diss there. Fire power from Mario, you know, the fire throwing, so he's saying I spit flames, because you get it. Hell in 06, I'm trying to think what shit Sonic game came out in 06. There's been so many bad ones, but I'm sure that's a reference to that. Pretty sure 06 was, let's see, that's probably when they did the Sonic remastered one, that I think ended up just being titled Sonic 06 later on. If I'm not mistaken, that was like the beginning of the end for Sonic. Not for the franchise, but that was like one of the first times that they had a game that they tried to remove from shelves to try to make the Sonic branding better or some crap, where like they took all of the games that weren't any good and just stopped letting retailers carry them. I think that was one of the first games they did that with because of how bad it was. I think it was just called Sonic the Hedgehog. I feel like we used to call it Sonic 06, and it was branded as like a remaster or a reboot of the series, and it was just... If it's the one I'm thinking of, that one was really bad. It's probably that one.
Note this how I flip the wind bro spits. Bring a hell for greater than the one of 06. It's a great gaming race and you're getting lapped. How you tend to be a fast when you are crap on the track.
Alright, gaming race, you're getting lapped. You know, racing reference, and how can you claim to be fast when you're so bad on the track? So, double reference to track like a track and field track, and track like a song track. Ha ha ha, little bar there, Mario.
It's a great gaming race and you're getting lapped. How you tend to be a...
And he's calling it a gaming race, and yeah, in sales, I think Mario has lapped Sonic multiple times.
That's when you are crap on the track. I burn your bro when I'm through with you. The one who see your true colors, black and blue.
Alright, so he's saying he's gonna burn you and the world will see your true colors, black and blue, because when you burn something, it turns black, and the rest of Sonic is blue, and black and blue is usually the colors that represent someone who's like beaten up, and you get it.
Up on the track, I burn your bro when I'm through with you. The one who see your true colors, black and blue. I'm a proud plumber whose business tries to flush out content your franchise provides. My big red one, so you'll see soon. I can still glow up with one Sonic move.
Alright, I'm gonna roll that back again. He had a plumber bar about being a cool plumber and a couple other things.
Colors, black and blue. I'm a proud plumber whose business rides the flushed out contention. Franchise provide.
So he's saying he thrives as a plumber on digging out the shit that Sonic leaves behind. So all the shitty games, and that one is Sonic Generations. Yeah, that game was trash too. So he's talking about plunging out of people's toilets the shit that are Sonic games, and he's keeping Mario very well employed with lots of work to do.
My big red button, so you'll see soon. I can still blow up with one Sonic boom.
And then he's saying he's got a big red button to explode everything. Your legacy's gonna blow up with one Sonic boom. You know, double Sonic boom references.
The blue blur speeding around and storming your car, screwing the street rat, crawling in the sewers of New York. You jump around on the ground, the streets around the king. But if you want to win the princess, the secret is rings.
Alright, we're gonna roll that back. Both of these voices are on point. The Mario and the Sonic. The Sonic one I like a little more. It sounds a little more naturally Sonic.
Up with one Sonic boom.
The blue blur speeding around and storming your car, screwing the street rat, crawling in the sewers of New York.
Alright, so he's calling him a street rat in the sewers of New York because Mario's a plumber, and he's saying you're just a street rat in the sewers of New York, and he is...
Sonic boom.
The blue blur speeding around and storming your car, screwing the street rat, crawling in the sewers of New York.
Yeah, he's spinning around, yeah.
You jump around on the ground, the streets around the king. But if you want...
And he's saying you're jumping around underground, beneath the streets where Sonic's the king, and then he's about to say the line about a ring, because Sonic's always getting rings, and if you want, you know, the princess to actually like you, you should have brought a ring.
Want to win the princess, the secret is rings. You trash from the past, you gotta go fast. With all my pals, we got the Dreamcast. While you're alone with a toad and a cowardly bro, I stepped out the game because you're too slow. Now I'll...
Alright, so a few more things there. So he mentioned the Dreamcast line, which is a double for Sega Dreamcast, and he's saying he has the Dreamcast of characters, where Sonic's characters definitely do have more depth to them than Mario's characters that he pointed out. You've got like the freaking cowardly brother and the mushroom head, so he's pointing out like the depth of characters there while making a Sega Dreamcast bar. And Sega Dreamcast is horribly underrated. It was a great system that was just a little too ahead of its time. I mean, that thing actually connected to dial-up internet for online gaming back in like the early 2000s when not everyone even had home internet. That thing was ahead of its time, but loud as get out. Like, you'd turn it on and you'd be like, is the house gonna explode? That thing was so loud. But it was such a good system.
The secret is rings. You trash from the past, you gotta go fast. With all my pals, we got the Dreamcast. While you're alone with a toad and a cowardly bro, I stepped out the game because you're too slow.
And then he's just saying that, you know, more fast jokes, and like he had to take gaming to the next level and speed it up. And you know, Sega, most of their consoles were technologically ahead of Nintendo, like the Sega Genesis, the Saturn. Sega usually didn't have an issue with technology. They were usually pretty ahead of the game in that, but the reason that they stopped making consoles and almost went bankrupt altogether and had to switch to just software is they were terrible at marketing it. Their games were very, very inconsistent, and Nintendo just had that stronghold on the market because a lot of the reason for that was Mario was so much more popular. So that doesn't bode well for Sonic in these bars, the historicity of it.
Now I'll show you with the speed of light how to spin dash attack, how my lyrics will rise. Been taking first place since my creation. I've been crushing Fat Man for generations.
Alright, that was a Dr. Robotnik thing. He says he's been crushing Fat Men for generations, calling Mario fat like his Dr. Robotnik, or Dr. Eggman is what they call him these days, I think. So that was just him saying he's been beating up fat guys forever. Then he said something right before then.
Because you're too slow. Now I'll show you with the speed of light how to spin dash a fat cat.
How to spin dash a fat cat. Alright, so he's, yeah, same idea, just leading the other bar. Because spin dash.
My lyrics will rise. Been taking first place since my creation.
Now he says he's been taking first place since his creation, but that's within, you know, Sonic's own world. He hasn't been taking first place, you know, if you're comparing Mario versus Sonic as far as sales and everything, but I get it.
Should've been crushing Fat Man for generations. Your taxidermy you can get your flies secured, but you're just a subspecies who's high on shrooms. Devour all your power-ups, you'll still be beat. If you are what you eat, then say hello to my feet.
Alright, a lot of things there, so let's talk about it. First one.
For generation. Your taxidermy you can get your flies secured.
Could get you fly as raccoons,
This is
so
my creation. I've been crushing fat man for a generation. Your taxidermy Tanuki get
your taxidermy Tanuki. So your taxidermy Tanuki, the Tanuki is the raccoon suit that Mario wears. So he's saying that you're basically, wearing a dead animal, because taxidermy is when you take an animal and you stuff it. So he's saying your little taxidermy Tanuki costume
flies.
could get you fly as raccoons. So he's saying, raccoons can't really fly. And he's showing an example of this fat-ass raccoon. So he's saying, like, your little taxidermy costume can't really make you that fly, and fly is a double meaning for cool.
But you're just a sub.
But you're just a subspecies. So he's saying, again, another plumber line, a sub underneath species. High on shrooms is, I think, the next line he says here.
Who's high on
High on shrooms because Mario eats mushrooms, which a lot of people have alluded to being like drugs, because that's why he feels like he gets so big when he does them. So he's just calling him a subspecies, just this vermin in the sewers that's eating shrooms all day.
Devour all your power-ups, you'll still be beat. If you are what you eat, then say hello to my feet.
And they say, devour all your power-ups, you'll still be beat. So talking about how every time Mario eats something, he becomes it in some sort of way. So if you are what you eat, then you're going to become my feet, because I'm going to kick you in the mouth. So in this verse, Sonic's flow and bars, for me, were way cooler and had more depth. So like I said, Mario better not crap the bed, but right now he's getting beat, even though as a character he shouldn't be. So let's see what Mario comes back with.
Mamma mia! With this abuse, I'm gonna give Pete a real reason to sue.
Alright, with this abuse, I'm going to give PETA a real reason to sue. And he's talking about how, PETA is always getting pissed about everything, including the Sonic games, for portraying animals in cages and all that kind of crap. So he's saying, well, with how bad I'm abusing you in this rap battle, PETA will have an actual reason to sue your franchise for animal abuse.
Hello to my feet.
Mamma mia! With this abuse, I'm gonna give Pete a real reason to sue. You ain't living my shadow, brawling me is the bull. That is according to roadkill, drive you in the fast food. Say
Alright, so
Say hello to my feet.
Mamma mia! With this abuse, I'm gonna give Pete a real reason to sue. You ain't living my shadow, brawling me.
So he says, you live in my shadow, brawling me is taboo. Shadow is one of the Sonic characters that he's referencing there that I think they put on the screen as well. Brawling me is taboo. I think that's probably a Super Smash Bros. Brawl reference. And I think that might have been the first entry that Sonic was put into or something. That's probably where they're going with that. And live in the shadow, because Sonic's always lived in Mario's shadow.
Me is the bull. That is according to roadkill.
Side scroll you to roadkill, because Mario's always a side scroll platform. Sonic's, well, not always, he's got the 3D ones, but Mario's had more side scrolling adventures, I think, than Sonic has, and just side scroll you to roadkill because Mario steps on things. That's his second stomp joke, I think.
Drive you in the fast food.
Drive you into fast food, because, again, Smash, Mario eats power-ups, you get it. Sonic's had a lot of fast bars, too many fast bars, and Mario's had too many stomp bars, so they both have too many of the same bars. That's very true. So he says Sega would be nothing without their one-trick cat, and the fan base is more annoying than this stupid cat who is in some of the Sonic games. And yeah, Sonic fans are super outrageously Sonic. Like, probably before you've even gotten to this part of the video, Sonic fans have been commenting their rage against me. They're that type of fan where they know they're supporting something that most people don't have huge support of, so they feel the need to over-defend it and say it's better than a lot of other similar properties that are clearly better than it. But once you really like it more, then you get aggressively defensive, and it makes a toxic fan base, which Sonic sometimes can have. So that's a very solid bar from Mario saying, Sonic is all Sega has, this little rat, one-trick rat, and the fans are more annoying than the crappy characters that Sonic has had.
Fast food. Sega will be never against one-trick rat. This fan was more annoying than Big the Cat. So they never face the gaming godfather son. Cause Mario's always number one.
Alright, so the gaming godfather, that is Mario, and he's like, I'm a Mario, I'm always number one. And he actually says that after you beat levels on a lot of the newer games, he'll be like, Mario, number one! So, nice little throwback to his catchphrase, and he's not wrong.
Mario's going missing, that's the best that you got. Meanwhile, I take it bites from Nintendo's metal pot.
Mario's Gone Missing, if that's the best that you got. Mario's Missing is a really bad Mario game that Sonic is referencing there. And he's like, well, you're going back to your Mario is Missing days and going missing if that's the best that you got.
Number 1.
Mario's going missing, that's the best that you got. Meanwhile, I take 8 bites from Nintendo's melting pot.
He takes 8 bites from Nintendo's melting pot. And 8-bit system, that was the Nintendo, and I think the Genesis released as a 16-bit system, so he took 8 bites. You know, that's what that joke is.
Spin chaos on the biggest salad from Japan. Flatten this grumble like paper, so you better jump, man. So your title since they're all the same. Alone you're harder than I did at the Olympic Games. But now I got you choking like you went down the wrong pipe. Well, that's what happens when you front the fastest thing alive.
Alright, so let's go back and review some of these.
Well, I take 8 bites from Nintendo's melting pot. Spin chaos on the biggest salad from Japan.
Alright, spit and chaos. Chaos is one of the things that happens in some of the Sonic Adventure games. That's what it's called, when like the big monster chaos thing comes. And some of the good Sonic games, like that one for Dreamcast, Sonic Adventure, is, oh my god, an amazing game. Biggest sellout from Japan, because, you know, Mario is just everything. He is a product in Japan.
Flatten this Goomba like paper.
Flatten this Goomba, he's calling Mario a Goomba and saying he's gonna flatten you like paper. I think that's a Paper Mario reference as well.
So you better jump, man.
Better Jumpman, and Jumpman, I believe, was Mario's old character name. I think he was originally released as Jumpman when it was the Donkey Kong games. His name was Jumpman, so I think that's a reference to that as well.
So your title since they're all the same.
It says if he disses one title, he's dissed them all because they're all the same. I don't think that's really that true. Mario's got a very diverse type of gameplay. In fact, if anything, I think Sonic has had less diverse gameplay, and when it's tried to be diverse gameplay, it hasn't worked. After Sonic Adventure, Sonic really was just, I don't know, nothing they did worked, so it's hard to say that the gameplay is diverse. Whereas Mario, there's a lot of very unique gameplay mechanics between them. The side-scrollers have a very specific mechanic. Mario Odyssey has very specific mechanics with Cappy. Mario Galaxy had very specific gravity mechanics. Mario 3D World had, you know, power-ups that were traditional to side-scroller, but put in a 3D. So Mario's games are not all the same. So I think that's a pretty weak diss, because Mario is actually very much known for the diversity of the titles. And then there's all the other offshoots of Mario. So I don't think that's a good bar by Sonic, just because it's a good bar needs to have a lot more truth to it than that.
Salad from Japan, flatten this Goomba like paper, so you better jump, man. So your title since they're all the same.
And while we're talking about more titles, you have Mario Sunshine, had the water mechanic, even though not everyone liked that game. It's aged really well, like most Nintendo properties do, because the graphics are set to age well. And then Mario 64, the first 3D one. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
On you harder than I did at the Olympic Games.
On you harder than I did at the Olympic Games. I don't remember what the Mario and Sega go to the Olympics thing. I know what they're referencing. I don't know what they're referencing as far as Sonic owning Mario in those Olympic Games. I'm assuming Sonic probably beat Mario in a foot race or something. Who knows? I don't know that reference fully. I just kind of know where it's coming from, but not the story behind it.
But now I got you choking like you went down the wrong pipe. Well, that's what happens when you front the fastest thing alive.
Alright, choking like you went down the wrong pipe. If something goes down the wrong pipe when you're drinking it, you choke. Choking in a rap battle means you're screwing up and you know, mom's spaghetti choking. And wrong pipe because plumber going down the wrong pipe because you go down different pipes in Mario. That was a good little wordplay there, Sonic. Again, I think Sonic's verses overall I've liked more than Mario's. In flow, sound, and bars.
Game over! Choose your character! Video game rap battle!
Hey everyone, Cam here. Thank you so much for checking out the video.
Screw you, Cam!
As always, if you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe to say a huge thank you.
Alright, I said my piece on Cam. Alright, so like I said, it was Mario's battle to lose, and I think he went ahead and lost it. Mario had much more material to go off of than Sonic, and he really just didn't touch on it. I don't know if it was written that way deliberately because either the people involved are Sonic fanboys, or they wanted to give Sonic better bars because Mario came in as such a favorite, or if it was just accidental, I don't know. But from what I picked up, I think that Sonic hit harder. I liked the way he was voiced better. It sounded more natural. The flows were better. Mario's flows weren't always perfect. The voice wasn't always perfect. It was good, but not as good as Sonic. And just the bars, they weren't as good as they should have been with how much material Mario has. I mean, we didn't have mention of Sega almost going bankrupt or not being able to make consoles anymore. We only had one real reference. Like his best two lines were the hell of 06 and the being a plumber to get all the Sonic shitty games out of the sewers bars. But there's so much more you could do. So much more. So I'm giving this one to Sonic. I think it was decently close, but I was more impressed with Sonic. So yeah, that's where we're at. So that is Mario versus Sonic. Until next time, I scheme, you scheme, we all scheme for ice cream. Bye!